things are happening?
Okay, I will say, when I went from my public school in Dallas, Texas, where I was with the same people for many, many years, and then moved to Huntington Beach, where it was just a bunch of white kids. I went to like a YMCA, and I had this like white teacher, very like out there.
Jolly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of it, sometimes I would be, absent because I would have to work. So when I come back, I was working. And, I was a middle school kid talking about I had to work. I was at work. So that's when I kind of realized the shift in how different I was from just other kids. And, it was different at the time, but there was something in me that was very vocal about being like, talking to my parents and being like, listen y'all, this ain't gonna work. I was like, this is not gonna work, I need to find something else, and that's when I moved into homeschool, and then my mom became my teacher, and then we had some amazing tutors on the Blackish set that helped me out so much. And eventually I had the same tutor up until I was finished with school. So at the end it was very helpful, but that was definitely the shift of like, wow, this is different.
So growing up in the industry and growing up around the arts, you said something important. Like you said, you were able to go to your parents and say, this is not working for me. Like, I need to change schools because whatever just wasn't on point for you to do what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
As a creative, and a lot of, the students and the people here are probably creators of businesses and they're young and they're figuring things out. What would be your message to them about being able to say, hey, this is not working for me, so that they're their best selves when they're showing up and trying to create their projects and do different things? Because you did that at a very young age.
Yeah, I think it starts with understanding the question behind the question of like, okay, this isn't working. Why isn't it working? What are you feeling? Like, tell me what the perfect scenario is. How do we get to that point? And I think even at that age, it was trying to understand myself before saying what I had to say to everybody else outside of that.
Right.
Which I definitely had to learn, just growing up, because I was a person that would say something and then someone would ask me why, and I was like, I don't know. So I think to be able to understand where it's coming from, the feelings that are rooted into it, it's helped me so much, whether I'm learning with journaling or even like I'll do these voice memo diaries of just me talking. Just it can be like the most crazy ramble or whatever.
Is it like a diary or like what? Talk us through the
It's like a voice memo. I guess you can call it a diary, but it's just a brain dump of things that I have in my mind, because it can be very overwhelming at times. So, and then you'll have all these questions that I'm like, okay, how do we come to the solution?
Yes.
And just go from layer to layer to layer to layer. Because it's truly like an onion, just trying to figure out what is the core situation.
Right.
Which has helped me so much. So I think that would be my advice to people, is to learn yourself. Constantly learn yourself. Don't rush your process. Don't rush into making a decision. I think it definitely helps in the long run and just your growth as a whole. So
Deciding to get behind the camera for you and creating projects and producing, was that something that you were always doing, or was that something that one day you were like, what is this, I want to try it? Like, how did that come about?
When I created Little with my family, that was honestly the peak of everything. Was being able to actually see something that me and my parents created in our living room turn into something that we go to Atlanta and we're filming for 3 months, and you are just really seeing your dreams come to reality, which was very surreal for me. And if you watched Little before, there's one scene in particular where it's literally when Jordan wakes up and she has these big old clothes on, she got this huge hair, and she's just now waking up, she's trying to look for her glasses, and then she tries to see herself in the mirror, and she's just shook.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the first scenes that we shot, and I was like, wow, I I just remember me and my mom going band for band on like what she was gonna wear, what she's looking like, what is she saying, and then me actually doing that with a whole production. Everybody saying, like, doing it for takes on takes, and it just was so special. And then to have that, and then to realize, like, oh, I can do this over and over and over again. This is fun. That's how Genius Productions came about. And I could do it for other people, not just for me to feel this, but for other young Black girls who want to be in front and behind the camera, other Black boys who want to pursue anything that they want. It's like I understood what that energy was and how much I wanted to share that with other people.
What are things that so when you're doing Little, you, mom, your family, your home, y'all figured it out and then you're on set, right? What were some things that you were realizing that you had been learning all along the way that helped you a lot at that time that somebody right here, right now could be like hyper focusing on because it would get them to a point where they could go out and do a production with friends next month, next week? What are some of those like core things that you were like, I see what you did there, God. I didn't even know that this was preparing me.
Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one.
Mom said use your resources.
Oh, look, my mom is right here. She's like,
yeah, mom's right here in the front, y'all. Mom is right here in the front.
And kill me, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like my mom was saying, definitely using your resources. I think connection is everything. The reason even why Little came about is because of Kenya Barris and Will Packard, and of course Kenya created Blackish.
Yes.
So we had the idea, but it wouldn't have been able to come to fruition the way it did without the team behind it. And it's genuine people who want to see you win. You know, it's not just they were in it for the money or they were in it because I'm a prodigy or, you know, or whatever story you make in your head.
That's right.
But it's
you better claim that.
Wow.
Y'all heard that?
I mean, I was 9. I was 9 when that conversation started, you know. So a lot of people can see that in different ways. You know, they can see it and, you know, go with some kind of story that is not true or I'm just the face or whatever, but they saw a girl with a passion, with an idea, and wanted to follow suit with it, you know? And I think that is the most important thing, is just following your heart with people who want to protect it, you know? Because that's not around a lot, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about that.
Yeah,
good people.
Absolutely. Just genuine good people who you just want to be around. You know, you never want to be around fake people, of course, but I think it's just important to just curate your team, find your energy that you want to be around, and just create your plans and go from there. We had a plan, and I think that was important. So I think that was one thing, is using your resources. Another thing my mom says a lot is what's for you, what's for you, what's for you won't miss you. I say it every time. And I say it here because there was a minute where, I mean, I was just on Blackish for, like, it was, 9 years of my life? I'm almost dead. And I feel like I was starting to, as an actor, become stagnant. Or like, you know, as a whole, I'm growing up in front of everybody's eyes as Diana, not as Marsai, you know? So I think as a whole, I had to sit back, and it was more of a complicated experience to find myself because of it. And Little, in creating my production company and also turning into the person I truly want to be, which is an overall creator. I'm just a creator at heart. I just like having fun building businesses and stuff. That's just really just what I want to do, you know. And I think as a whole, that's what I wanted to be and what I was destined to be. And I realized, like, you know, as long as I follow my path, as long as I trust in God, as long as I don't stress about it, no pressure, just do what is at hand. And if I know that God is not going to put anything in my heart, in my mind, in my gut that it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be there. You know, it's everything that I think, everything that I feel is like, okay, this is here for a reason. I'm feeling this way for a reason. So when everything came about, I was just like, wow, this is just really God's journey. And even though I created Little at 9, I didn't film it until I was 13. I didn't get the record until I was 14. you know. I didn't create my production company until I was 14, 15. I didn't start actually selling stuff until I was 16, 17, you know. I didn't start getting the recognition for it until I was 18, 19, you know. So I think to be able to trust the plan, trust the process, find joy in the process is what's the most important thing. Because then you realize like, wow, this is perfect timing, and what's the rush, you know?
I think that when you say it sometimes it's easier to say it than to live it or feel it when you're in it. And I know, like, how many of you guys are creators here? Raise your hand. Creators, college students, everybody, right? Yeah, thank you for raising your hands, everybody, yes. So I think a lot of times, especially when you're creative and you live with what you love so much, right? Like, it's like your passion. The journey, it has its twists and turns, and it may feel like, oh, when does the light hit? But what she is talking about is kind of being so committed to, like, what you're experiencing that you're not worried about the end. And I know that's hard for us, but there's a message in what she just said. So I hope you guys felt that message as well too. And the resources thing. A lot of you guys are here, you're creators, you're in college. This is the best place for you to find your director, your head of photography, your publicist, your social media person. Like, link up with your people, not just for homecoming and all the fun things, but link up with them for real. And I know Howard is the home of that, so I know y'all doing that. But yeah, she dropping some gems up here. You talked about Blackish, right?
Yeah.
And having to find yourself outside of your character, because that show was so impactful. Did you know going into it, people probably ask you this all the time, the impact that it would have culturally? And did you understand it while it was happening?
Absolutely not. I didn't know what was going on. I was just having fun. I was being Diane. It was just fun and ad-libbing. Even the Juneteenth episode where we was talking about we built this and all this stuff, I just like the music. I didn't know. I really didn't. I was learning what Juneteenth meant and the story behind it while we were filming. And I think that was such a special moment as a whole, for not even just the audience, but as us. I mean, we grew up on the show.
Right.
And there's so many stories and concepts that even at home we would just talk about. We would look at the script before the table read and be like, what does this mean? Like, you know, how does this reflect, you know, my family? Is this something that we're gonna go through eventually? And it was just so important, and it felt like school. It felt like school as a whole. You were learning something new. Even there was something is hilarious. That was here.
Y'all laughing? Mindy? Huh? No,
I
not
got
yet. We don't get
laugh
them
too.
laugh. They put a little turn. I don't know what's happening on that side. Don't worry, we won't get them there.
Yeah.
Yes, fans too, okay? When she do that, the fans and the laughter hit, okay? So cute.
Yeah. Next time we gotta do a louder.
Yeah, they can hear us over there.
Anyway. I think Blackish was just such a pivotal moment for us as just young adults just trying to figure out our way.
Right.
Even when Diane had so many things happen to her during these seasons, I was doing the same thing. When Diane got her cycle, it was like a month or two I got my first one. I was telling everybody, guys, I got my like, it was like true family dynamics on that show.
Yes.
And it was just so important, so special. Even the hair episode, I would talk to Tracy about it in the trailer before getting into it. It was truly like an educational experience for me, and something that I just truly will never forget.
Do you feel like, as a creator, the responsibility that is put on Black creators, right? So like with that show, for every young person, you guys taught them something, but to see a young Black woman going through, getting her cycle, learning about Juneteenth, there's another Black girl here that watched that and she learned with you and she felt seen, right?
Yeah.
That responsibility, do you take that into everything you do because of Blackish, or was that something that you were doing head on, like you knew early on, like I want to make sure that like the girls who see me understand this at a young age? Did you?
Absolutely. I think now it's deeper. It's deeper than that. You know, I think now being behind the camera, I want people to, not just as an actress, like there might be, you know, an amazing actress that happens to be like an amazing Black woman that see that and are excited about it. But now I'm like, okay, where are the Black writers? Where are the Black DPs? Where are the Black, anything. Black wardrobe, you know, where are the props, you know? So anything that I do at this point forward, I want every detail to reflect who we are.
Right.
You know, so anybody who, from any position, any role, they can see that and be like, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. That's the caliber that I want to hit. You know, and I think that is the most important thing, is paying attention to the little details, and not just with acting, but even with the festival work that I do with, say, Summer Cookout or the other businesses that we're trying to build. It's always learning. I'm constantly learning, and I want to learn with other people who are genuine, like we said, just good people who just want to make good content, like good, real stuff that we want to put out there. I think that's just the most important thing. Me and my family will go still band for band about, like, this is what needs to be out there. Right. How do we make it? How do we build it? How do we start it? And I think that's just the start of it. That's step one.
We got any people here that want to make some good content?
Yes. I will say something about the resources part. This is the best place, truly, to connect. Not just with your fellow students, but we just had Ryan Coogler last night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have your legends here that are willing to talk to you, willing to have the conversation. Don't be afraid to have the conversation. We do not bite. We can have the conversation as well. Like, the team that we want to curate and want to build, it starts here. That's what it is. It starts here. And I want to see you guys' work. I want to see it out there. Any part of social media, any, like, in real life, like, promote your stuff.
Yes.
Promote your stuff. You know, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does come with embarrassment to get your stuff done. You know what I mean? You can't be. You gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's just it. You know, don't be afraid, because it's already gonna be a no if you don't do it. It's already a no. So go for it. Strive to be your best. And then I'll see you on set, hopefully.
Well, we want to take some questions from the audience. I think I have time for 3 questions. Okay, well, they said we could just go as we go, so they're going to let me know. So yes, hands in the air. Any questions? First hand I saw was over here. So when you ask your question, you got to introduce yourself, your major, what you do, and then your question.
All the above.
Oh, the mic's not on.
Is it on? You gotta turn ours on. There you go.
We still can't hear him.
Oh, I can project.
There you go.
Alright, everybody, my name is Ethan Gwynn. I am a freshman in international trade sociology at Blackish University. I come all the way from Mobile, Alabama. I'm happy to be here today, and I'm part of a program here on campus called the Humanities and Social Sciences Research Program. And so, something I've been thinking about a lot lately, being here at the festival, and you spoke on this a lot. Although we need actors and directors and everyone else who's like directly in the spotlight, we need black writers, we need black wardrobe, like you said. So I was just curious, from the production standpoint, what does like research look like from that perspective whenever you're going and creating these projects, especially things in history and just culture of black people and things of that nature? What does that process look like research-wise? Like, do you have professionals on set working with you on the team who are like doing the background research to inform the project that you're doing? And I really appreciate it, like how you mentioned, not only are the works that you're participating in educating other people, but you're becoming educated yourself. And so I just want to say I appreciate that too.
Thank you so much.
Were you guys all here?
Thank you. Yes, so that works. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that, Ethan. Man, I mean, it depends. It truly depends. When it comes to set in particular, sometimes I'll do my research. My research be TikTok sometimes. It really does depend. Like, honestly, because my people are on TikTok. My people are, you know, like they'll text me through DM, or I'll see them on the street, or I have a whole notes list of like people that I've just met that I've had great connections with, that I'll reach back with, and then I'll bring that to my team. They'll do the background check, they'll do whatever they need to do, and then we just go for it. It's actually a pretty simple process, and it just starts with a conversation. You know, you can really get. You can only know how genuine someone is from an email, you know, or from a picture, like, you know, like, you really have to be able to get on the ground to somebody, get to know not just what they're doing, but why they're doing it, and what is the path that they want to take. Even if I'm hiring you, for example, as an assistant, where do you want to go? Because I know it's not just being an assistant, you know? Where do you want to be? I want to be a writer. Okay, well, let me put you in these spaces so you can also learn how to follow this path, but also have this, as an assistant, be a catapult to that next thing. You know, that's what we do in Genius, you know? Even if we are the starting point for certain people, that's what we're about. You know, we want to give people their start. We want to give people a seat at the table to where they might even look at that and go, all right, this is something that I'm happy I tried out. I want to go a different position. Bet. Cool. Let's pivot. That's literally what it's all about. And I think it's starting as making sure people feel like they're at home. You know? There's a lot of places that can feel uncomfortable, it can feel scary, it can feel like you don't have a voice, and here I want to make sure your voice is heard, you know, but also you know what's right and what's wrong, you know, what's right from wrong, and to understand the scene, understand the industry, understand your story, so you can create your own path from there. So, research is relative, honestly. Like, this is research.
Thank you. I'm gonna go over to this side, and go right with the headphones right here.
Does that not work?
I was about to do
Let's see.
Hi, my name is Tamia Anderson. I'm a sophomore film and TV major, criminology minor from Memphis, Tennessee. I attend Howard, and my question for you would be, what do you say to keep yourself going when you're not getting the results you want? Like maybe work is moving slow, you just start getting what you want, or you feel like you're not doing enough. For example, I do photography on campus, and I do it every so often, but I also feel like I could be doing more than I am, and I'm not really sure if it's just me or if it's just myself or if it's something more I can be doing. So what would you say you say to yourself, to keep yourself stable?
Yeah, I would say, I say trust the timing a lot of the time. That goes for what I was saying in the beginning of what's the question behind the question. Like, why are you feeling this way? Why do you feel like you should be doing more if you're already giving your 100%? Like, is it comparing? Is it, overthinking? Is it stress? Is it pressure? Is it the pressure of school, but also wanting to do something different? It's those questions that you only yourself can ask, and then you go from there. But I think that, emotions are emotions. Sometimes I be crying. It's true. I cry, be like, damn. Sometimes it just be like that, but not for long. I don't let it do that. I don't sit in no sadness for long. No sadness. I'm like, all right, I feel this way, but let me go get my ass back up and do what I have to do. And that's just it, Sometimes you just have to find a new plan. Sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes you have to lean on your connections and be like, this is how I feel. How do we figure this out together? Because 9 times out of 10, you're never alone in how you're feeling, Like, how do I get out of this funk? Most of the time it's just the person on your left that you're like, hey, this is what I need help with. Mm-hmm. Or hey, help me find this person so I can learn how to be a better whatever, a better photographer, a better whatever. Like knowledge is key, So I say it's so many different things. But what do I tell myself? I let myself feel what I have to feel in the moment. Whatever that is. If it's anger, I'll go on my voice memo and be like, this. Stop and be like, all right, we're cool. But I gotta rap. What's the plan? What's the vibes? How do I get out of this? Let you feel what you have to feel. That's step one. And then you go from there. Then you find what that next thing is, Because the good comes with the bad. That's just what it is. You're gonna have those stagnant moments, and that's okay. But trust the timing. Absolutely. Yeah.
Some more questions? I'll go straight to the back with the green and the white. With the, yes. She like it, right? Yeah, girl, you put that out on the desk.
Hi, my name is Rashay. I'm a junior. I'm a film major at Bowie State University. And my question to you is, when you think about your legacy, do you see yourself as part of a movement of young Black creators? Or
I know I have my peers. I know I have my people around me. But ever since I was little, I knew that I was creating a lane for myself. That is just outside of what other people are doing. And that's okay. When I learned that was when I realized there was nobody next to me that I can completely relate to. Because I was doing things, or still doing things, at an age where nobody can even fathom where to start. So, I see my legacy being my own path. And I take that head on. Like, I think this comes from me being, I don't know who into astrology, but I'm a triple Leo. I stand on, like, you know, I stand on business. I put my all into myself. I'm confident in myself. I know what I have to do, as well as I know it's only me that can get myself there. And I know what I'm capable of. That is different from all these other people out here. You can see it in my resume, you can see it in my work, you can see it in the conversations I have with people, you can see me in business, because I don't play about that. I come from a family that doesn't play about that. And that's just that. I stay out the way, and I do my work, which is different. And that's it. So, I think as a whole, I'm just in a path of my own. And that comes with a whole different responsibility than anything else that I've seen. But I take it head on, and that's just it.
Okay, last one. Ooh. Marsai, you gotta pick the last one.
Oh,
I feel so much pressure. It's like I got the aux right now, and y'all wasn't really feeling my music, so I'm giving it to you.
What?
It's stressful, ain't it?
Oh no.
Do we got? Oh, no, just. What if this is the last question? What if we just go,
Okay, let's do Mr. White.
She stood up already.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, that boom.
Everybody can shake.
Hi, first of all, thank y'all both for being here. Thank you for picking me to the question. My name is Selma Santewapara. I'm a fourth year computer science major, theater arts minor from Oakland, California.
Yes.
Yes, West Coast baby. Continue.
And my question is kind of about being like a multi-hyphenate creative. I'm an actress, dancer, model, singer, creative director, etc., etc. And I find it hard sometimes to market myself when it's like there's so many different things I'm interested in, so many different things I can do, so many different just lanes I want to go to. So my question is for the multi-hyphenate creatives, how can we figure out ways to put it together as like a full package that can be like presented and marketed?
Well, I mean, it starts with you. I mean, you're the only person who can market yourself, truthfully. You know your brand. What is your brand? That is something that is a full day of just sitting with yourself and thinking about. You know, that's where the little details come in. Like, when are you gonna pull out your dancing skills? When are you gonna pull out your singing? When are you gonna do? That is all you. No one can actually do that for you. You know, that is something that every person that you see has kind of curated that for themselves. I think one of my favorite multi-hyphenate stars is Tiana Taylor. You know, which is someone who styles herself, creates her own content, has her own production company. The conversations that she has with people are conversations that she has on her own, you know? So those are things that you have to do to just market yourself. You're the only person who can do that. And that is a beautiful thing to do, all of it. So my advice would be to have fun. Don't think too hard on it. Just have fun with it. Because that's one of the best things to do, is just put yourself out there and have fun. I mean, Halloween just passed. What's a unique thing that you can do for Halloween? I mean, Thanksgiving is coming up. What's a unique thing you can do with your family? Like, who are the friends, the connections that you have that you can go on campus and start your own series or start your own whatever, like as a creative director, to where you're able to sprout all of that. But have fun with it. That's one of the best things I could say, is don't think too hard on it. It might be something to even have fun with just for a day, you know? And that's what I would say. You know, just find ways to market yourself and start there. You know, I can't tell you how to market yourself, because only you know you. There's only one you. Show us why there's only one you.
That's your asset in the room, girls. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you too, real quick before you go, sometimes too, like when you can do a bunch of things, there's like one thing that is like super prevalent that people just like run to you naturally about. Don't fight that either. Lean into that and then allow yourself to like bring everything else into as it makes sense. Like think about your favorite like store that you go to for, I don't know, your favorite makeup product. Once you go get that product, you just happen to find everything else. So if you are strong there and that's out there, people gonna find the rest of the stuff. Just be ready, have it all together, have your looks, all the things.
And I will say this for everybody in the room, even with the questions that I got, you don't need to have it all figured out right now.
No.
I know sometimes people look at TikToks of us in our 20-somethings thriving, striving, whatever, and being like, oh my gosh, I need to be like them. We don't have it all figured out either. We don't. This is just our job, just like you have your job.
Girl.
That's it. That's just it. So you don't need to have it figured out right now. Just create your path, create the story you want to tell, and take it day by day. Because your 20s is where you can actually make the most mistakes and come back from it. You know? And that's just it. You know? Just like keep going, keep pushing, keep thriving the best that you can. Do not put any pressure on yourself at all. Y'all are still in school. Y'all are still focusing on other things and other problems. Just take it day by day and it'll all fall into place later.
And ladies, before we button it up, I got a question for Mom Carol. Because a bunch of the students keep asking me, come on, stand up, Mom Carol.
Mom's like, what?
I don't put her on the spot. A bunch of the students keep asking me,
Hey, it's Carol, y'all.
say, what up, Mom Carol?
Yeah.
A bunch of the students have asked me, they're saying, you know, I have parents who don't see arts and entertainment as a viable career, and they want me to become a doctor or a lawyer or one of these things. How did you have the unction to support your daughter through this career path? And what advice would you give the students about talking to their parents about them taking the journey in arts and entertainment?
Hello, everybody. I come from a family of artists, so it was really easy for me to spot early that would probably be what her journey was. But if I did have parents that didn't get it, or if I was a parent that didn't get it, you gotta understand that the choices that I make for me are my choices, and this is not a carbon copy of myself. And God didn't give me a baby to just pour into what I want her to be. I can desire her to do all sorts of things, but she's a blank piece of paper, and all I can do is try to make sure that I give her all the tools that are necessary. I make sure she's fed and clothed and sane, and God does the rest. I knew from a baby that this is the kid that I had. So it was funny trying to get people to see what I saw. Because they're like, everybody thinks their baby is, you know, everybody's baby can do that. I was like, no, everybody's baby can't do what this baby. You know, and then they saw it come to fruition, and then they're like, oh, I knew, remember when I told you? I know, girl. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I mean, just try your best to give your parents grace, because that's what was put onto them. You know, like, that seems like that they want stability. You have to hear what's behind that push. They may not get it because they were told that same thing. You know, like the only viable way to do anything are these 4 careers. You know, and there's the artist, the starving artist. That's an actual title. So yeah, most artists are starving. You know, so it's coming from a place of concern and love. And if you give them that grace, they may never understand it, but you gotta do what you gotta do for you, and try to stay in that mindset and know that there's a community of people that support you, even if they don't get it. You just gotta find your folks that'll hold you up and help you out.
And I will say that also comes with time. Sometimes they just need to see it. Sometimes they just need to see it, because I mean, people just be like that sometimes. But also too, even this past year, the conversations I have with my parents are very different. They look different now, because I realize that they're humans too. They don't, like Mom said, they don't have it all figured out. This is the first time that they have a 21-year-old or a 20-something-year-old. So, like my mom said, to be able to give your parents that grace, but also too, they might be a part of the group that just needs to see it to believe it, and that's okay. So keep moving forward, and it's not saying that you can't do this or whatever, because that can feel like projection at times. But just follow your path and switch your mindset about it. It's all about mindset.
Now we see where you get it from, though.
Right?
Yeah. We gotta give Loren and Marsai a round of applause. Come on, get up on your feet and show them some real love. I'm gonna jump in the shot, and then we got one quick thing we're gonna do here.